stones, and even from a senior's residence.
3 months ago, Cédrica Provencher disappeared from her Trois-Rivières neighborhood. The 10-year-old hasn't been seen since. Today we begin a two-part series on what every parent should know to keep their child safe. Here's Caroline Van Vlartigen.
Halloween, the one night of the year that goes against all the lessons we teach kids about the dangers of approaching strangers.
Thank you.
When parents take their children into the night to both scare and be scared. Of course, as adults, we know that the real dangers facing our children don't hide in creaky coffins or haunted houses. They lurk in internet chat rooms, our neighborhoods, and all too often, our own families. So when Cédrica Provencher disappeared near her Trois-Rivières home this summer, parents everywhere became worried.
I've always had this fear. I go crazy if I lose sight of them for 1 second.
Not surprisingly, the Missing Children's Network fingerprinted and photographed a record number of children at Child Identification Day this year, even though they admit
stranger abductions continue to represent less than 1% of all our missing children cases.
The majority of abuse done to our children are done by people that they know or get to know, and not by complete and total strangers.
And that, says Community Relations Officer George Manoli, is why parents should be much more concerned about people they know and trust, especially those who seek out ways to be alone with their children.
If somebody spends more time with your child than you do, we have a problem.
Children should know their phone number. Children should know how to dial 911.
Alan Schulman runs personal safety workshops for a U.S.-based organization called Yellow Dino. Rather than focusing on stranger danger, they teach children to beware of tricky people.
We get the children to understand that a tricky person can be somebody you know, and it can be somebody you don't know, but it's somebody who's acting tricky. Their behavior is odd.
Behavior that usually makes a child feel uncomfortable, so we need to teach kids to avoid situations that give an older child or adult privacy and control, and to listen to that little voice inside.
Not just a little voice, but your whole body, how it reacts. The whole idea of the heart beating faster, the sweating palms, the hair in the back of the neck standing up. All these are little ways that your body tells you, be careful and not worry if they're not 100% sure.
Research has shown that pedophiles often choose their victims long before anything happens.
They do it over a period of time. It's not a sudden impulse.
And now they can do it from their own homes.
It's much easier to go to the internet and find kids than it is to go to a playground.
Parents should know that pedophiles usually target children with low self-esteem, those starving for affection, often alone, or sexually naive.
Pedophiles have a saying, show me a child that knows nothing about sex, and I'll show you my next victim.
The prevention? Talk to children about their bodies before someone else does.
So we need to educate them, because as a pedophile, I will leave material around to get the child's curiosity going, so he or she can ask me questions.
At Yellow Dino, they begin teaching this as early as daycare.
We start with children of 2.5. Believe it or not, they don't really understand everything, but we use music. We find that it's easier to teach the kids with music.
Because even young children can be taught basic skills and tell us when something's not right. And when they do, it's our duty to listen.
In any family, there should be no secrets.
Children must learn from a very young age that whatever happens to them, they have to be able to come to their parents and talk about it freely and openly and not be reprimanded for talking about it. We have to trust the kids.
No!
Tomorrow, when words alone aren't enough, teaching kids how to protect themselves.
I need help!
Caroline Van Vlartigen, CTV News.
Coming up,